What's up, guys? It's Reynad, and today I want to do something a little bit different. I wanted to give an answer to a pretty popular question I get on stream, which is, Reynad, how do I become a successful streamer? I wanted to just make a video for it so that I have something to point to, and if any of you guys are interested in trying to pursue Twitch as a legitimate career path, I just wanted to make a quick guide basically on how to blow up. I've never seen it fail across any channel that does these two things. It's really just two steps. And yeah, I mean, I found the website back in 2012 myself. After I found the website, 3 weeks later, I was partnered and averaging like 95% of the aggregate like audience in the game I was streaming. It was a small game at the time. It was Magic, but it works is what I'm saying, and I've been doing it for a long time. So anyway, it's basically just two steps. So step number one is consistent schedule. Almost any streamer will tell you this. The biggest thing about live content is there's no set schedule. People are watching stuff on demand. So if they know when to tune in to see you, that's how you grow an audience, because if somebody tunes in and likes your stream, they might never pop in again for like months because they just don't know when you're on, and the timing that they're on Twitch doesn't really line up with when you're on Twitch. But if somebody tunes into your stream and they like it and they know that tomorrow you're going to be on at the same exact time, then your audience is building habits. And they're going to tune in again tomorrow, and then that same viewer that likes your stream will tune in again, and then new viewers will find your stream, and it snowballs. So when I say consistent schedule, I don't mean like, oh, I'll stream at 4 p.m. like 3 days this week, and the next week I'll stream like 2 days at 4 p.m. I mean, like, if you want to do Twitch for a living, you have to understand you're going to make fucking no money at all for like the first year plus. And then you have to commit basically full-time amount of work into it despite that. So expect to make nothing, have a fallback plan. And when I say consistent schedule, I mean go all in. I mean like 7 days a week, like 6 hours a day at least. 6 days a week at the very minimum. Every single day you start on the same exact minute, no matter what. No breaks, nothing like that. You just go all in. So that's step number one. Being a good streamer is all about building habits as well, right? And that consistent schedule has got to be one of those habits. So step two, the only other thing you have to do to make a successful Twitch channel is to fill dead air. What I mean by that is you basically always have to be talking about something. Never just like be playing your game and like staring at your game and then like look over to chat and wait for them to ask you something and then you answer. Sorry about the car noise outside. A lot of people were not endowed too well when they were born, and they have to compensate by removing mufflers from their cars. Filling dead air, right? So you can't just be waiting for your chat to create conversation for you, right? Like, it's good to stay engaged and answer every question they have, but even when your chat's not talking, because when you start off, you're going to have like 1-2 viewers. Even when they're not talking, you have to be talking. So you basically build this habit of like let's say you're playing a game you're very experienced in, that you're very good at, or even if it's a game that you're not that good at. Your brain is doing all these processes while you play the game, all of these like automatic shortcuts, and that translate into you playing the game that you play them. But when you're playing the game off stream, you don't say those things out loud. So you basically have to train yourself to explain every little thing that goes through your head. It's kind of like writing, or kind of like having a diary. Just like anything that comes to mind, you say it out loud, basically your entire thought process. So if you're playing like Overwatch, you have to explain what your overall goal is with your character, who you're trying to shut down. On the other team, like when you're going to ult. Honestly, I shouldn't even use specific game examples because it's really different for every game, but you basically just always be talking and try to build this habit of feeling uncomfortable in your head after 3 seconds of silence. Like, if there's 3 seconds of silence, you have to stop it. You have to say something. It doesn't have to be anything intelligent. It can be the most mundane thing ever, but as long as you're talking in general, your stream is going to be like 100 times more engaging than somebody that's just like drooling on the table while fucking, clicking on stuff. So those are literally the only two steps. Obviously, once you get experienced and you start to build up a channel and you're getting like 50 viewers or like getting closer to 100 viewers, at that point you're already like in the top 1% of streamers. You're still not going to be making jack shit for money, but at that point you refine these two things into something a little bit more streamlined. So rather than just talking about anything at all, you're talking about Like maybe you're doing jokes if you're a casual streamer and you're not like a pro player. You're trying to be like funny, or you're telling stories about your own life because everyone loves stories. It's another great thing to do. Maybe you're a pro player and the way you're filling dead air is by giving people strategy advice and like telling them how to improve their own game. So all these are like different ways to go about it. But yeah, in general, these are the two things you have to do. I'm just going to round out this video by basically telling you what not to do, because a lot of streamers make the same mistakes. It's always the same like stupid shit. It's really easy to fix. So I'm just going to rattle a bunch that come off the top of my head, because like I said, I just like doing these things in one take. So first of all, overlays, right? A lot of times you'll have like a graphic design friend or like some girl you know or some guy you know that'll make you like this really pretty overlay, and it'll have all these vibrant colors and a little graphic, and like you'll put a little fucking cat gif in the corner. Just don't use any of that shit. Overlays, like 9 times out of 10, take away more than they add to your stream. You see how I just have like white text here that I added? I mean, I'm literally recording this in OBS. If you really want like a spot for your top donor and all of that, just like do it with text like this, right? Be minimalist, right? You don't want a really cluttered like colorful overlay that adds nothing to your game. Like, it doesn't attract streamers. It doesn't make it look more professional. Just having like your little webcam off in a corner is like this or whatever. This is like totally fine. It's just minimalist, right? Just keep it clean. You really just want to basically, when you're starting off and you want to build an audience, it's not about doing things that cater to very niche audiences. It's about avoiding doing things that are off-putting to people in general. And then consistent schedule plus talking will smooth everything else over, and your audience will grow. So other off-putting things besides vibrant overlays, music, just don't play it. Music is super subjective. I have an overlay, I play music, right? But it took me like 4 years to figure out what works. And not everything's going to work for every audience. So since music is a very subjective thing, yeah, some people will really vibe with what you're playing and they'll get really into it, and then they'll give you like good feedback about it, and it might encourage you to play music. But for every one person that's into it, there's like 10 people that just hate your taste in music, no matter what your taste is, and they're just going to tune off the stream without saying anything. So music's like one of those things that just becomes very off-putting, right? Don't fucking play meme music. Don't play like death metal or whatever. If you're forcing yourself to play music, it has to be really generic, easy listening stuff that we're just trying to be not off-putting to as many people as possible, or the least off-putting as possible. So like what I kind of default to is just deep house playlists on YouTube. I hit autoplay, and it'll be like deep house 2015, 2016, some picture of a girl's ass, and then whatever, you play that in the background, and don't show the ass picture on stream. It's just amateur stuff. I make that mistake every day. Save that for your own time. But just have the music playing, something easy listening. I play a lot of old stuff on my stream too. So yeah. And once you're already big, you have the luxury of kind of doing whatever the fuck you want. So like that's another reason I can play a bunch of stuff. Do I think a lot of people like these alternative like Scottish bands and stuff that I play? Probably, a lot of people probably don't, but whatever, they'll tolerate it because people just kind of gravitate to whatever the number one stream is. So so music, overlays, money, right? So when I say expect to make no money in the first like year, I legitimately mean that. Like if you're a girl, there are exceptions sometimes. Again, this is not me being sexist. It's just me seeing what's worked for 4 years. Like if you're a girl on Twitch, you have a much higher floor for success. You already start way up higher, but you have a much lower ceiling. So like it's much harder to hit like 10, 20K concurrents compared to a guy. Because so much of the Twitch audience is male, and they just want to watch something that's more relatable to them. So that's why they'll watch the game that they play. That's why they'll watch somebody that kind of looks and talks and thinks the way that they think. That's why they'll gravitate towards people of the same gender. That's just the reality of the situation. But you also have a much higher floor, right? People are going to be a lot more willing to donate to girls for whatever reasons. I mean, even if you have 100% gameplay oriented stream, that's just the reality of the situation, right? When I was averaging 10K viewers, there were dozens of girls on Twitch in 2014 that made more in the year than I did, and they were averaging like 200, 100 viewers. So if you're not a girl streamer, and even if you are, just don't expect to make money off of it for a very long time. And when I say that, I mean you need like a fallback plan. You can't just be like unemployed and then just being like, okay, I'm gonna go on Twitch and start paying the bills with this next month. It doesn't work that way. You have to be prepared to make no money for a while because you're building a brand from the ground up, from nothing. So when you're building that brand, I'm bringing this up in the stuff not to do section because one common mistake that a lot of people make is begging for money. And when I started in 2012, again, I was trying to pay rent with Twitch. My CPM and ad money was horseshit back then. They didn't give me a sub button right away. I streamed like 10 hours a day, like 30 days in a month, and I played 30 seconds of commercials every 30 minutes. I made like $400 back then the entire month. It was awful. And I worked my ass off. And the reality is that caused me to like ask for donations for stuff a lot of times, like if I wanted to go to an event or if I wanted like new equipment, because I was playing on some shitty like $500 laptop I bought at Costco. You know, I had no equipment, no mic. I was using my laptop mic. Like, so the reason I'm bringing this up is if you're like begging for money a lot of times, the scary thing is it'll work sometimes. Like one guy will kick you $20 or something, and then you build this habit of doing it all the time, and you just like stifle your brand completely. Like you have to go into it prepared to make no money, and then you can't be asking for money because it reflects really badly on your own brand. It's just going to kill your own channel off before it gets big. And I get it, right? You got to fucking pay for groceries and stuff. Like you got to eat, and you need to make money from somewhere. But if that's the reality of your situation, don't fucking stream for that time that you're awake during the day. Get a fucking job, because minimum wage job is going to pay better than, like 99.99% of streamers make. So, but if you are, if you do have a plan B, if you are willing to not make money for a while, you have some other way of supporting yourself, whether that's money you have saved up or maybe you're living with, with parents still. Something like that. That was what my situation was back then. In that case, feel free to go about the streaming thing. Again, don't ask for money. Just focus on building your own brand to be as big as possible. So, consistent schedule, fill dead air. Those are the only really two things you have to do. Don't beg for money. Don't use shitty overlays. Don't use overlays at all, because even if you think it looks good, you're fucking wrong. Don't play music, because even if you think it's good, you're fucking wrong. That's basically it. I mean, those mistakes aside, chat engagement, obviously very good. A lot easier to do when you have a small stream, because, when a message pops up, it's like an event. You started off with like 1 viewer, 2 viewers, 3 viewers. Somebody says something in chat that's awesome. Like, of course you're going to respond to it. It only gets hard after you're like past like 10K. Even 5K is like manageable, especially if you're moderating to answer chat questions. So. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Hopefully that helps. Some of you guys wanted it to start off. One thing about the whole overlay thing that you should set up is like the automatic donation alerter thing. It's going to be very infrequent that you get a donation, but sometimes you will. And, just as long as something pops up so you don't miss it and you get to say thanks, that's always nice. And yeah, best of luck, guys, if you want to go down that route. Things are looking very promising for Twitch. Really, really happy with how the Amazon acquisition's gone. Not just as like a whale streamer, but I talk to Twitch a lot. I go into workshops about things they're developing a lot, and they're really focusing on empowering the small streamer. And I've given them a lot of my own programs that I think they should start up to help like the new guys that I think will I think they're in the budget for next year now, which is super exciting. So it's like a good platform to be a part of, YouTube too. But yeah, Twitch is going to be in a good spot. So, beautiful thing about it really is that just like most things in life, you get out of it what you put into it. So, I've never seen somebody work their ass off and have good content and fail. I don't really think it's possible. Like on Twitch, you will get viewership at some point. If your content is good and you're working as hard as you should be and you're doing things the right way, it's going to pay off for you. I look at like very small channels a lot, and almost any time somebody has talent and work ethic, their channel ends up blowing up over time. So best of luck, guys. I think it'll go well. Hopefully this helps some people, and I'll see you guys next time with other stuff. Yeah. Later.